Most investors think buying the Nasdaq 100 or the S&P 500 is the ultimate way to invest in technology. And let's be honest, it's a fantastic strategy. It has created millionaires over the last decade. But there is a hidden trap in those broad indices. When you buy the Nasdaq today, you are mostly buying the winners of the last decade, such as Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. You are buying the generals. But what if you want to find the future soldiers? What if you want to capture the explosive growth of the next wave before it becomes mainstream? To do that, you need to stop buying the whole supermarket and start shopping in the gourmet aisles. You need to look at sector-based ETFs. In this video, we are breaking down the 6 most powerful technology subsectors that might define the next decade. We aren't just talking about chips and software. We are talking about the future of money, labor, and human life itself. Let's dive in. Before we look at the tickers, let's clarify the strategy. Why even bother with sector ETFs? Think of the market like a professional sports team. The technology sector is the entire squad. But sometimes, the strikers are scoring while the defense is falling apart. Sector ETFs allow you to bet on specific positions. If you try to pick the one winning cybersecurity stock, you risk buying a company that goes bankrupt. But if you buy a sector ETF, you own the industry. If the industry grows, you win, even if one company fails. It is the perfect balance between safety and aggressive growth. Let's start with the absolute heavyweight champion, semiconductors. If data is the new oil, then semiconductors are the internal combustion engine. From your electric car to the massive data centers powering ChatGPT, absolutely nothing works without silicon. The global semiconductor market is projected to exceed $1 trillion by 2030. This is a fundamental shift in how the world operates. The ETFs to watch here are the 2 big players, SOXX from iShares and SMH from VanEck. Here is the nuance. SMH is highly concentrated. It puts a huge percentage of its money into giants like Nvidia and TSMC. If you want pure aggression, this is it. SOXX is slightly more diversified. It gives you exposure to the designers, the manufacturers, and even the equipment makers like ASML. Now that we have the engine, let's look at how we protect it. This brings us to Sector 2, Cybersecurity, the shield. This is the most defensive play in all of technology. Here is the thesis. A company can fire HR staff or cut marketing budgets, but they cannot stop spending on cybersecurity. Hackers do not take days off during a recession. As the digital world expands, the attack surface just gets bigger and bigger. The data backs this up. Global cybercrime costs are estimated to hit a staggering $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. Cybersecurity isn't a luxury. It's a tax on doing business in the modern world. The ETFs to watch are CIBR from First Trust or HACK from ETFMG. CIBR is popular because it holds the big bodyguards of the internet, companies like Palo Alto Networks and CrowdStrike. It's a great way to hedge your portfolio against digital warfare. We have the chips and the security. Now let's look at where the data actually lives. Welcome to Sector 3, Cloud Computing, the infrastructure. We are in the middle of a historic shift away from on-premise hard drives to the cloud. This shift created the software as a service, or SaaS model, which generates recurring revenue, making it one of the best business models in history. Once a company moves its data to the cloud, they rarely leave. Experts project the global cloud market will reach nearly $2.4 trillion by 2030. And remember, you cannot have the AI revolution without these massive data centers. The leaders here are SKYY from First Trust and CLOU from GlobalX. CLOU tends to focus on pure-play, high-growth cloud companies. SKYY includes some larger tech giants. So, if you want aggressive growth, check CLO. For a bit more stability, look at SKYY. Now let's move from digital infrastructure to the disruption of your wallet. Sector 4 is FinTech, the future of money. We are witnessing the death of cash. The world is moving toward digital wallets, blockchain payments, and buy now, pay later systems. FinTech companies are taking market share directly from traditional, slow-moving banks. The big name here is FINX, the GlobalX FinTech ETF. It holds companies involved in digital payments, tax software, and enterprise financial solutions. Another aggressive option is ARKF, the ARK FinTech Innovation ETF. But be careful, ARKF is actively managed and takes high-conviction bets. It can soar high, but it can also crash hard. FINX offers a broader, more passive approach. While FinTech changes how we pay, our next sector changes how we work. Sector 5. Robotics and AI, the future workforce. This sector addresses a global crisis, labor shortages. We aren't just talking about chatbots here. We are talking about physical automation in factories, robotic surgery, and warehouse logistics. As populations in the West and Asia age, we simply won't have enough human workers. Robots will have to fill that gap. The ETFs to look at are ROBO from ROBO Global, or BOTZ from Global X. BOTZ is very concentrated. It loves companies like NVIDIA for the AI brains and Intuitive Surgical for robotic surgery. ROBO is much more diversified, holding smaller companies globally, including in Japan and Europe. If you believe the future of labor is automated, this is your sector. Finally, let's move from silicon code to the code of life itself. Sector 6. Biotechnology, the new frontier. This is the most high-risk, high-reward sector of them all. We are talking about gene editing, mRNA vaccines, and personalized medicine. But you have to be careful. Biotech is unique. A single drug trial result can make a stock explode 200% or crash 80% overnight. Buying individual stocks here is essentially gambling. The global biotechnology market is forecasted to surge to over $3 trillion by 2030. The ETFs to watch here require a crucial distinction. You have two main choices, IBB and XBI. IBB from iShares is market cap weighted. It's dominated by huge profitable companies like Amgen. It's safer. XBI from SPDR is equal weighted. It gives the same amount of money to tiny experimental companies as it does to the giants. XBI is much more volatile. If you want to bet on innovation and buyouts, XBI is the tool. If you want stability, stick to IBB. Now do not go and sell your entire portfolio to buy these. That is a recipe for disaster. Sector ETFs are concentrated. If the chip market crashes, your chip ETF crashes. There is no diversification to save you. The professional move is the core and satellite strategy. The core, which should be about 80% of your portfolio, is where you keep the bulk of your money in broad market funds like the S&P 500. This is your sun. The satellites are the remaining 20%. You can use these sector ETFs as the planets orbiting your sun. Maybe you allocate 5% to chips, 5% to cyber, 5% to biotech, and keep the remaining 5% flexible for new opportunities. This gives you the alpha, the extra performance without risking your entire financial future. Technology is not a monolith, it's a complex ecosystem. By using these ETFs, you can stop guessing which stock will win and start investing in the trends that are poised for long-term growth. I want to leave you with a challenge. Look at these 6 sectors: semiconductors, cyber, cloud, fintech, robotics, and biotech. In the comments below, tell me if you had to put 100% of your growth money into just one of these sectors for the next 10 years, which one would it be and why? I'll be reading the comments to see which trend you believe in most. If you found value in this deep dive, hit that like button so the algorithm knows this is good stuff, and subscribe for more smarter investing tips. Thanks for watching. As a quick reminder, I am not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only. Always do your own research.